Hi, I'm Cass.
And I am Lee.
This is Cassley Productions.
Today we are doing another one of our combos!
And today is going to be about our differences in daydreaming, which is just something we thought would be interesting, I guess.
Yeah, because, I'm one of those people who constantly daydreams. It's actually thought to be a side effect of ADHD. I'm not sure how they scientifically determined that, if just enough ADHD people daydream, or if they were like, no, this is definitely, we did brain studies, this is an ADHD thing.
It might have been a survey where it's like, these people have ADHD. Do you daydream a lot? Yes or no, kind of thing, maybe.
I mean, I know that's the funny thing, in a psychology quiz that they make you take you to do the ADHD, to determine if you're ADHD, that is one of the questions, if you daydream a lot. And I'm like, it's sad that I studied ADHD and I know how to rig these answers. I never do, but honestly, if you know what ADHD is, you can rig the answers. It's kind of sad.
And then you can get Adderall. Don't do that, but you can.
Why did you share that? You weren't supposed to share that. Do you know how much harder it's going to be for me now?
Are you on Adderall?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, I'm on Adderall. I take a low dose for, No, you cannot steal it. No, I do not lend out my medicines. And I'm on one other ADHD medication as well. That one I just take because it's lower dosage I can get to work at McDonald's. And because at McDonald's my ADHD is advantage, but being on my medicine just makes me hyper-focused too much and I can't do many things at once. And at McDonald's you need to be able to multitask.
I cannot do that.
Yeah, so.
McDonald's was not fun. I mean, it was at the start, and then it got less and less fun.
That's funny.
Anyway,
I hated it at the beginning, and now I like it. So that's kind of funny how that's even reversed.
I think I started disliking it because Anne was really mean to me.
Anne does just kind of come off that way. I mean, she has the resting bee face, and her voice is very authoritative. And I know she didn't like me when I first started working there. It's funny, I asked her, and she's like, yeah, no, I didn't like you when you first started working here. I'm like, I knew it! She loves me now, but when I first started, she was just like, I don't like this girl.
Yeah, I mean, she liked my work ethic. I was one of the better workers, which when I kind of understood, everything. But she also, if I did one thing wrong, she would get on to me, and I'd just be like,
It's kind of her way of joking around, but she also...
I didn't know that.
But she's also, she admits she's mean.
Anyways.
Moving on, that is not the point, ADHD off-trackness, that's what I got for you. So I daydream all the time, and I often write, a lot of stories in my head, and I pick up and just run with it, and run for it in all directions, coming up with different timelines and splicing and stuff like that. And then Casty, on the other hand...
the transfer. A lot of the times when I daydream, I go from one topic to the other. So it's I'll be I want to think about what I'm going to do with my story next. And I'll think about it for 2 minutes, and then I'll start thinking about something else, and then I'll just start trailing off, and I'll be wait, no, I was thinking about this. Where was I? I don't remember. So I start over again, and I never really get past 5 minutes in a daydream. I usually just talk to myself in my head, so I don't really daydream.
Yeah, I kind of have, that, control over a daydream that maybe not all people have. But it's also kind of funny, because what you said reminds me of this time I was at church, and they asked us, they're like, you don't have to say a prayer out loud. You can say one in your head, but try saying a prayer in your head, and every kid did, including me, and they're like, see, it's hard to keep on just one thought now, isn't it? And I'm sitting over here that's not normal?
I mean, when I pray, I can focus on it, unless I'm in bed. But, when you're in bed, you have your eyes closed, it's dark, you're probably, a lot of people probably are able to focus when they're
Actually, that's when I do my best focusing, because I'm shut off from everything else. It's an isolation thing for me.
She is not normal.
Obviously, I'm ADHD. My brain isn't normal.
That was a joke.
I mean, I'm not joking. I'm not normal anyway. I'm not sure it's because I'm ADHD. Probably not. I'm probably just weird.
It's both. Definitely both. I'm not weird. No, I'm weird, and I probably not ADHD. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you just have anxiety. Anxiety is actually has similar symptoms to ADHD, which is weird.
Daydreaming and stuff.
Yes. And half of it is because I can hyper-focus that I can do that daydream thing, because I really like writing stories, so I can hyper-focus on writing that story in my head while tuning out everything else around me, making the daydream even more effective. And and that's why it's a problem in school.
I can't do that. It's like it has to be in front of me for me to be able to focus. That's why I always have to write things out. And stories. And unlike Cassidy, I also can remember the majority of what I've written down in my head. Yeah.
Maybe not word for word, but I know the general direction and how I began the scene. And it's never exactly, again, for word, but I have close enough to the original that it's scary sometimes.
Yeah, and I can't do that, because I don't know why, but probably because I have fibromyalgia.
I don't...
No, that's actually a symptom.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I'm so forgetful.
I guess that... Right, because it affects the neurons, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's something called fibrofog, and so I thought it was normal to forget people's names, to lose track of a conversation, and to forget what I was doing very frequently. Because it's normal to forget what you're doing on occasion, but it happens to me several times a day.
I'm ADHD. So. It happens to me more than that. Yeah, I don't know how many times at work I've walked into a room and then gone.
I do that too.
I mean, apparently that's a thing everyone does, but trust me, it happens to a lot more to ADHD people. We'll just they'll be okay, do something else, and then stop for a whole 5 seconds. I was going to do something else after this.
Oh yeah, that is an ADHD thing.
Because it's and then you stand there, and you look around the room, and you're I must have saw something that made me think this.
Yeah, because I'll be oh, I wanted to do something after this, and I'll just go back to whatever I was doing and go through it, and then I'll be oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so ADHD people are really good with memorization techniques, because we forget everything. We have to compensate somehow to actually function.
That's funny. Apparently this video is going to be mostly about ADHD.
Apparently!
Daydreaming.
I mean,
that's okay.
We can say ADHD daydreaming.
And that's what I was thinking.
That way it still connects.
It connects.
It connects. According to doctors.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. Because, if I, try to focus and daydream, I want to daydream about this, doesn't work. But, what is, your definition of daydreaming? Is it, building a story in your head?
Generally, sometimes, I don't really get the whole kind of dream-like state daydreaming, where, you're still actually seeing things in your head, because I do not have that type of imagination. I'm that person who kind of imagine words, and yes, if I concentrate hard enough, I can sort of see the characters of the room that they're in, but not necessarily. I have to be super into my hyper-focusing to attain that. And that's usually when I'm laying in bed with my eyes closed thinking of the story, then I can play the daydream however I want it to go.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I always thought, daydreaming was just, not paying attention to what was, going on around you and just, being in your own head. Because I can definitely do that. I can do that very well.
I also thought that's kind of what daydreaming was, full honesty.
Yeah. And so it's, if I ever try to, focus my thoughts, it doesn't work. I cannot focus my thoughts unless I'm reading something in front of me.
Yeah, and then I have the problem of being able to go too quickly from thought to thought, which is kind of a rabbit hole thing, but it's generally deep thought. I mean, you can't stay focused on one thing. I focus too much on one thing, technically, which makes anxiety worse, by the way. Very much worse.
I'm actually on a medication that helps.
Me too! I feel so much better now.
I don't.
It's so funny. I was at work one time, and you know how you gotta, was it when you first start, it doesn't work, fully quite yet?
Yeah.
And so I was, at work, and I got, a high anxiety spurt, and I actually go, ah! And then I go, okay, that was very intense. Is that how I usually felt 24/7? Damn.
Yeah. The way mine works is, I typically get overwhelmed to the point where, I'll just, want to, not do anything. And my medicine really helps with well, this is overwhelming, but I can deal with it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it definitely helps with that. Like, I can feel the anxiety creep into me, but I'm still a functioning adult. Before,
Yeah.
the anxiety would, like, kind of just crush me. I'm that person who, again, I wouldn't be able to do anything either, but I would break down and cry and just trying to do the thing that I'm pushing myself would just cause me to break down even further. So,
yeah.
that's a thing.
I don't think I ever, like, stopped functioning as a human.
I did.
But a lot of what it was I was functioning at a lower level than needed, and people would be like, yeah, that's not normal, like, you need help. And I'd be like, no, I don't, I'm normal. This is fine. Well,
Denial.
like, burning, like, the whole world's burning down.
Exactly, it's like that whole meme, guys.
That's my favorite meme.
It's just so accurate to life that, like,
Yeah,
honestly,
that's true.
especially with anxiety, it's like, how are you doing today? Well, at work, it's stressed out to, like, the highest level max. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Today's a great day.
Yeah, that's honestly how I felt 24/7. And I mean, sometimes it's like that a little bit.
Maybe this should just be a video of mental health.
Probably. That's probably.
Let's divulge into what we have, Cassidy. Yeah.
Anxiety.
I have anxiety and ADHD. I guess I have more than one.
I mean, I'm on a pill for anxiety and depression, and I probably definitely had depression at one point.
I know my anxiety can lead to depression, but it's not like I have depression itself.
Yeah. I have seasonal depression, which means if I don't get enough vitamin C, that I want to find a bridge.
Oh, you have that kind of depression?
Yeah.
For me, my depression's usually the thing where nothing is interesting
Yeah.
at all. I don't get so depressed that I have suicidal thoughts. It's just to the point where it's like nothing is enjoyable. Which is not fun either, because it's like, I want to be entertained, but nothing is entertaining me.
Yeah. That's like very, very mild depression for me. Like, when it gets worse is like when, like, my thoughts just go, like, they're like on like a record over and over again. You're worthless, you're useless, like, the world doesn't really need you, you know, kind of thing. And then it's like, okay, well, I may as well just go find a bridge, you know?
Yeah, for me, that's weird, because that kind of happened with my anxiety, but for me, it was because, it stems actually kind of from my ADHD. You know how ADHD can make it very hard for me to complete any task, really? It makes me feel very ineffective and useless at times, like I can't do anything right, and that kind of...
She is very useful.
Oh, thank you.
She keeps me alive.
You know what's weird? My sister said the same thing.
Really?
Really? She's like, Lily, if it wasn't for you, I may not still be here. I'm like, don't say that!
You are a lifeline.
Apparently!
That's not healthy.
No, it's not. Her therapist was like, that's some codependency and not in a good way.
I'm also mostly joking about that. Like, my friends are a lot of the reason where I'm like, well, life is actually worth it. But it's not like, if Lee ever stopped talking to me, I'd go find a bridge. You know, it's not like that.
I think my sister more means in the terms like, you got me through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I would have gotten through it if you weren't there. I think is more what my sister means, too.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
too. Especially because, like, you guys lived together for 22 years.
Yes. Well, I think, no, technically they're subtract 2 years. It's 20 years because she went to college for a bit.
Oh, okay. But, I had this one friend who was extremely depressed, but she was the kind of depressed where she didn't want any help. Because, like, you can't help someone unless they don't want help. And I think she just really wanted pity. She just wanted us to be like, oh, I'm sorry, kind of thing.
I like to call it validation.
Probably that. She's nicer than I am. But she texted me and our other friend. We had like this little group chat. She was one of my college friends, and she goes, you guys are going to be the reason I'm alive. Yep. You are why I'm not going to commit suicide. And we just go, oh, okay. But that is an extremely toxic behavior. If someone is like, yeah, like, since we're friends, I'm not gonna commit suicide, that puts a whole lot more pressure on the friendship, and a lot of tension, and it's not healthy.
I mean, think of it as, like, it's unhealthy on other levels, I guess, as well, because it's like, okay, it's like, it's sort of like if you're dating someone and the person's like, if you don't get back together with me, I'm gonna kill myself.
Right.
It's technically doing the same thing, like, if you aren't my friend anymore, I would probably die. It's the same kind of pressure. It's like,
right.
if I accidentally, grow distance from you, you might end up dead. That's a new whole nother level of things to deal with.
Right, because it's like, oh, like, if she actually did it, we would be like, was that our fault?
Yeah, and it introduces guilt, and it's not good.
I had this one friend, like, this was in my period of, like, when I had a lot of online friends, and he was convinced we were going to get married. I didn't feel like that about him. I was just like, yeah, no, but okay. Yeah, kind of like that. And at one point, like, he was talking to me, and he was like, yeah, if you don't get with me, I'm going to kill myself. And I go, okay. And I blocked him. Okay.
That was pretty fast.
Well, and there was a little bit more, like, I think he, like, said it, like, 4 or 5 times before I was like, if you say that again, I'm going to block you. That's not healthy, like, I'm not doing this. And he said it, and I ended up blocking him. I think there were, like, some other factors into it. We got into a lot of fights. He was like, yeah, we're gonna have kids, and I'm gonna name one of them Lucifer. And I was like, no. Like, I'm not having kids, and if I do, I'm not naming them Lucifer, kind of thing.
I mean, Lucifer is a cool name, but with our faith, conflictions.
Yeah. Because, like, Lucifer is, like, if it didn't have, like, the connotations it did, because, like, what I was thinking about was, like, if a kid's named Lucifer, they're probably gonna get bullied.
Oh, yeah, they could.
Yeah.
It's sort of like how I kind of want to name my children really weird names, but they'd get bullied so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's why I cannot name them this.
I don't really want kids, and if I did, I'd probably name, like, one of them Jay or something like that, because I really like the name Jay.
I'm on the fence about that, honestly. It's like, I'm not sure if I want kids or not, but it's like, I do like children, so...
Adoption,
honestly.
That's what I'm gonna foster, so.
I'm thinking adoption or fostering as well.
Yeah.
And guess what? I can help them with their mental health issues if they have any.
Which they will, because they're the foster care.
Well, yeah, but I'd like to think that I'd like to think that our system isn't that broken, but that's probably...
It is.
It is.
Sorry.
It's pretty bad. I know it is, because we also had a social worker come into our thing from my criminology class, and she kind of explained how the whole mentality goes in with that, with families and stuff like that, and how it wasn't repeat offenders, so I kind of know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, like, adopt, like, an infant, like, that would probably, like, no mental health issues unless it's genetic.
I know the younger technically is the better, but since the older they are, the more muscle they've been around, and the more chances they've had to fall into someone who isn't the greatest person in the world.
Yeah. I want to foster teenagers. I really want to, like, just help them get on their feet, kind of thing.
I mean, I just like to give someone a home to come back to. That's,
yeah.
Because everyone should be able to have that. Everyone should be able to feel safe and loved. And that's something I believe personally with my own history as well. Because it's like, there's times where I have not felt like, loved in my life. Oh. And I don't want anyone else to feel that way.
I didn't know that.
There's some things I don't share with you because I don't like the thoughts of them.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, I'm past it now, mostly.
Mostly.
I mean, every now and then when you're having a bad day, it creeps up on you. But.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I think my anxiety just convinced myself I wasn't loved, even though, like, objectively I probably was. Mm-hmm. But my parents also didn't really show their love.
When your parents don't show your love, that's when it's the hardest, honestly.
Yeah. Now that, like, my mom's dead, my dad's a lot more verbal about it. Mm-hmm. But before that, I don't think he really ever told me. I would aggressively go, I love you, and he'd be like, I love you too, kind of thing.
But he never initiated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I want to give someone that safe place.
Yeah.
Because everyone deserves a safe place.
Yeah. I want to do that too.
That's why I kind of want to be a psychologist for a while, but it's like, I'm also not sure how I deal with extreme situations.
I mean, you go to school for it.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
You're right, they would teach me how to deal with those scenarios.
Yeah, like in nursing, they basically teach you how to be compassionate. Mm-hmm. If you can do it or not is up to you, but, Yeah, they like, there's a whole bunch of like, a lot of the clinical focus is learning how to deal with patients. And I think we did like have a PowerPoint over therapeutic communication.
Like, I wish there was a job where I could legit just be someone's friend. if someone, like, was it, instead of being a psychologist, to just be like, okay, you can hire me, and I'll hang with you, and we'll have fun, and I will do my best to help you with whatever your thoughts are in your head.
I think that's probably not a job, because that's, I just...
The only thing that kind of comes close is Big Sister, but that's more like
with children.
Yeah, with children, and it's usually more of a volunteer thing than a job thing.
Yeah. I feel like with, like, hiring someone to be your friend, there's just, like, that sense of, like, falsivity, you know?
Yeah. Like, I would be their friend even without the money, but I need to make a living somehow.
Yeah. Just be like, pay me $20 and we can be friends.
Maybe I could work for, like, one of those hotlines that people just call, you know, for help. I could be...
That's what I was thinking about,
yeah,
you know?
It's like, I'm not sure how much that pays, but I'd be willing to talk to people.
Yeah, you could probably do it at home, too, so, like...
I could get a bird. Because most birds that I want to get require you to be home practically 24/7.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because apparently otherwise they get anxious unless you have another bird with them. So yeah. But they don't get attached to you if there's another bird. And it's like, but I want a birdie friend.
Yeah. Are you gonna get like a parrot or a parakeet?
I was thinking a cockatrice or cockatrice. I don't.
Cockatoo?
Cockatoo. Thank you.
Okay, I was gonna say,
A
I'm pretty
cockatoo.
sure a cockatrice is almost...
a mythical creature
Yeah,
that
yeah.
turns people to stone in his very presence. Yeah, that thing.
I'd want one of those too if they were real.
Actually, I think I would too. It'd be cool.
I want a pet dragon.
Everyone wants a pet dragon.
That's true.
I'm not
Alright.
sure how true that is with the internet here, but...
Do you want to end the video?
Yeah, sure, let's end it here because we've gotten way, way, way off topic. We're far away from mental health even now.
That's
Bye-bye!
See you next time.
Like
Like and
subscribe.
subscribe. Jinx.
Ah!